Hey everybody, how's it going? Mike here from the Focus Garage coming at you with another update for the Ford Maverick that we ordered back in the middle of September. Now, if you guys are following along this Maverick saga and story and everything like that, I'm going to assume that you guys are probably already on the Facebook groups, maybe some of the forums, following magazine articles, things along the lines of that, and you will have seen that a couple of weeks ago Ford put out a memo basically saying that, haha, we bait and switched you. Now, basically what the memo says, and I'll put up some screenshots or some links of it, is that Ford obviously has constraints on what they can and cannot build. So whether that's certain options or drivetrains altogether, they're only slated to make a certain number, a percentage breakdown of the total number of orders. Well, Ford was only slotted to make 35% of all 2023 Mavericks as a hybrid. They got 72% of 2023 Maverick orders for hybrids. That is a 30+% chance that if you ordered a hybrid for the 2023 model year, that you may not get your truck made. Now, since Ford released this knowledge, what they are doing is something that's typically unheard of through a vehicle ordering process. They published out to dealers with a memo that you are allowed to now change the configuration of your ordered Maverick as long as it hasn't been scheduled yet. So you can change from a hybrid drivetrain to an EcoBoost drivetrain. And obviously all hybrids are front-wheel drive, so now you can get a front-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive EcoBoost. And you can switch up and down any trim level you want, as well as adding or removing any options that you want. Their hopes in doing this is that people are going to be able to switch to configurations that can actually be built. And when they released this, they actually did kind of do a options and kind of percentages breakdown of what's capacity and where they're at right now on certain options and trims and things like that to kind of push people one way or the other. Now, the funniest thing about all this to me is this just feels like a giant bait and switch. Here, Ford comes out basically saying that we're going to offer this entry level, small truck that's, based off of a crossover, hybrid MPGs, 40 plus miles per gallon, and it starts at $20,000. So obviously what happens? People order that, myself included. I ordered an XL hybrid, front wheel drive with the Steelies, pretty much only one option on that, one or two options. And, so did thousands of other people. They wanted this, really affordable kind of functional utilitarian truck. So here, Ford offers this thing, everybody orders it, and Ford's like, no. You can't actually get that. If you want any chance at seeing this truck, switch your order from the hybrid to a gasoline engine and maybe we'll build your truck. The funniest thing about all of this is as I'm following on one of the Facebook groups, you're seeing that there is almost no rhyme or reason as to who's getting their truck and when. There are people who are still now waiting on orders that they placed in 2022, but there are already people who are getting deliveries of their trucks that they ordered this September. Now, obviously, I know many things go into this, like the dealers that you've ordered from, how many allocations they have, the options that you picked on your truck, if it's a constrained item or not. But I just can't imagine the, anger or just confusion. If you ordered a truck 15 months ago, you still don't have it, and there's somebody on this Facebook group that hasn't even been waiting 3 months, 4 months, and they're already getting their truck. It's crazy. And at first it seemed like it was a hybrid thing, like the hybrid people weren't getting theirs, but I've also seen EcoBoost people waiting a long time. There really is no rhyme or reason. But the main point I'm making out of this video here is that I feel that Ford bait and switched thousands of people, myself included. So I changed my configuration here. Like I said, had a hybrid XL, and I have now changed my build from a hybrid XL to a EcoBoost all-wheel drive XLT with an FX4 package. My reason in doing so is that everything there is well in capacity to be built still. So I wanted to get a configuration that actually gives me a chance of seeing this truck. Would the hybrid have been cool? Yeah, sure, it would have. But I probably would have, not kept the truck for a long time with the bare bones base model aspect of it, the Steelies, front wheel drive, no bedline or nothing like that. So I optioned this out as something kind of more with the hopes of me keeping the truck. And trust me, the whole reason I ordered the truck in the first place, at least when I thought about it, was that the allure of the hybrid miles per gallon was very, very appealing and something that was going to be a daily driver for me. I don't daily drive my Audi RS3 here. This Maverick is going to be my daily driver. So something that would get 40 plus miles per gallon to me was very, very appealing. But after, looking on some of these Facebook groups here, a majority of the driving that I do is highway driving or at least 55 and up mile an hour driving. And that's kind of when that Maverick hybrid dips down. That really shines in city driving. I've seen people get over 30 miles per gallon on the highway with their EcoBoost Mavericks, even with the four-wheel drive. And I've seen people get as low as 33 to 35 miles per gallon with their hybrids in the highway. So I guess it's a wash for me if I'm going to be doing a lot of highway driving. Yeah, I'm in the Midwest. It snows here. The all-wheel drive will be nice. And now that I went with the EcoBoost and the all-wheel drive, I did option the 4K tow package, so I will be able to tow more with it. It's going to have additional auxiliary coolers, an upgraded radiator because of the FX4 package. It's just going to be a better equipped truck to do what I want to do. But that being said, it jumped up like $6,000 in price from what my previous build configuration was to this new build configuration was. Now, Ford can lie till they're blue in the face, but if you don't think that the hybrid is a loss leader, you are wrong. The profit margins that Ford is making on these EcoBoost Mavericks has to be so much higher than these hybrid Mavericks just because of the overall configuration and the tooling costs and everything like that. I mean, an EcoBoost Maverick is essentially an Escape or a Focus ST or a Bronco Sport. The tooling is there. The engines are made. Like, this is all stuff that they've used and they've done for a long time. So they've got it on hand. They've got it ready to go. It's something that they can just whip together and it's a much lower cost. This whole hybrid configuration in this is something that's a little less common. Something that obviously the parts are hard to come by with the eCVT transmission, the batteries, everything like that, the chip shortages. So I get it. I get why this is happening. But what blows my mind is the way that this ordering process is so convoluted. How are you telling me that there isn't a way for Ford to say something's out of stock when you try to order it? So when there are 100,000 people and 70,000 of those orders are hybrids, why are you even letting people place that order? And then Ford doesn't cancel orders, so you get strung along for a year thinking that, oh, my truck might get made, it might not get made. And they just give you an email every 45 days that like, oh, we're sorry, we understand that you're really excited, but we're going to have to, let you know once we know something. And they just repeatedly send that email every 45 days. Like, there's people on Shopify that spend, $10 a month for an online store that you can set something out of stock. And I know other brands do the same thing where if you're trying to order a configuration that's not in stock, they will cancel or, deny your order. I think Ford does this to string you along and not to deter customers because they'd rather have you and your deposit on the hook for a truck that may or may not come than tell you, no, we can't build this, and then you go somewhere else and order a different vehicle or buy a different vehicle. They want to retain you as a customer, and the way that they do so is very, very frustrating by kind of leaving you in the dark. So that's annoying to me. I think it's really bad the way that they come out and they hype this truck up for the affordability and the gas mileage and everything like that, and it's basically unobtainable. Sure, you may be able to find some used here and there, or you may be able to find some in-stock dealer inventory, but markups and adjustments and everything like that are going to ring you over the coals for that. I was seeing XL hybrids, which is the base model, which depending on a 2022 or 2023 starts at, I think, $20,000 to $21,000. I've seen these for $35,000, $36,000 in the new and the used market. There is absolutely no reason that anybody should be paying a $15,000 markup on a $20,000 vehicle. It just doesn't make sense. So I want to open this up in the discussion for you guys. Are you aware that if you're waiting on a order of a Maverick that has not been scheduled, that you can change your configuration? If you are aware of it, have you done so, or are you holding out for your hybrid? Now, when I first found out that you could switch it, I was like, gung-ho no. I'm like, no, the hybrid's the whole reason I ordered the truck. If I couldn't get in a hybrid, I don't want it at all. And then I thought about it and I realized that my want for this particular vehicle, a kind of small crossover-based truck with all-wheel drive, gets decent gas mileage, that has more of an appeal to me overall, more so than the hybrid aspect. I'd rather get the vehicle in my second choice engine rather than wait and not get the vehicle at all. Now, what I'm really hoping this brings, though, is more competitors into the market to kind of speed up their process to entering this market. I've heard Toyota and Subaru are both working on a competitor. I've even heard rumors of FCA, Fiat Chrysler Dodge, making something, and I've even heard something about Chevy making something that will compete with this. I'm hoping that this kind of situation and the demand and everything like that they've been seeing for the Maverick will open up some competition into the market because that would be great to see. Now, I am not loyal to Ford. I've owned quite a few Fords, but I'm not buying the Maverick because it's a Ford. I'm buying the Maverick because of what it is. I like the idea that it can tow. I like the open bed and just, the overall size of it and everything. I don't need a giant pickup truck that gets 15 miles to the gallon. So that's kind of why the Maverick has that appeal to me. And I like that it's comfortable. It rides more like a car. I don't need a truck. I need something that has some more capability than a smaller, Audi Jetta here. but I also don't need a 2500 pickup truck or something like that. So if more brands get into the market and offer stuff that's competitive, I think that would be super, super interesting and would pull huge market share away from Ford, because the only reason they're winning right now is because first mover advantage. There's nobody else here offering a package like that. What will be interesting to see, though, is over the next coming months, if Ford is going to raise the price again for the hybrid, and then when these other brands come into market, how they're going to price it. Because Ford's whole thing was, right around the $20,000 price point, which was the whole appeal of the truck to a lot of the people, which is what they ordered, which is what they can't get. It makes sense why they're doing it, but it's super frustrating. So that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this one here. I just want to say that I feel I've been bait and switched by Ford. Yes, nobody held a gun to my head and said you have to switch your order, but I want this vehicle, and I feel that what I did greatly increases my chances in doing so, in getting one of these. Sure, I could have waited for my hybrid. It may have never been made. I would have been, on the hook to when the order banks opened up September of next year, and I would have been like, well, I still never got my last year model. Do I want to go ahead and try all over again? And that's another thing. Ford even made a press release saying they're not going to automatically roll over your 2023 model orders into 2024 orders. So that means right there, they're telling you, without telling you, that if you ordered a 2023 and you don't get it, you have to order new as a 2024, which means that you are starting priority-wise from the bottom again. You're not going to have priority of a rollover, which is insane. How are you just pretty much like pushing these customers to the side that have been waiting and saying you can't get it? Like, it blows my mind. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. Drop your comments and thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next video.